Mr. President. Good morning, members and friends of the media. We are Zooming this morning's press conference because we do have our president who is in Singapore right now. He has quite a travel schedule and engagement, but we wanted to give you some time with him to get an update on some of the meetings that he's had, some with very fruitful opportunities that are coming up. So with that, just a quick briefing. We're going to do 2 rounds, and everyone will get 2 questions on the first round, and then following that, we'll do another round with 2 more questions. And just a reminder that the president has another engagement after this, so he'll have to be signing off in just to get ready for that next meeting. Okay, so with that, I would like to open the floor to Mr. President for his briefing.
Howdy, Manuel Tutang from Singapore. Koturun sa kanong tiarteal Moses Raibudul Maraklay, Robugul Belau, Bilung Maybe Raklay, Masir Belau, President of Senate Hokons Baudes, Maragul Senators, Speaker Savino Anastasio, Maragul Delegates, Governors, Speakers, Lators, Marbek Lader Belau, Nangara Blur Nayangan Murahot Charigi, Madiregal Narekler Blur Belau Relan Sils. Diregal Manuel Tutal Gormil Adra Media, Look no see the Logi Tel Melidio Lebay Adadu, Alambra Sudela PNCC, na connect with Mablula, settling Arga anywhere, Emrula Red. The Gida Namo Talsandel, the Busser Blur Belau, Umbra was saying, close to tell and I got press conference, moved Bodaga the year I get Gida at Makanmuru Girela Belwat. Mang Gotrule Southern Terteal, Emo Lotkia, Senator Gidra, Senator Regisagitaya, Nia Namo di Busra Tronale, Moria said Sipseriera October 14. Adilungile Tuma Wadi Tribal Lak time Podalat Kira no Dirigan Malaswar el ring Mora Turungal Gani, Modiactol, Clickit Rengargir, Mortir al time. Dirigal Southern Molotkia, Prime Minister Abe, Turungal Gani, Tira Dirigal, and Noniate Elef, El Mora Ablura Shaban, Abungela, former President Ramasau, el Tiam Lomregal, Foturiormum. No sé de la tenderse el Cameldil, en Norira o Erulurior a Blura Chaval. Sel no tenga que dar no a Wallo Lotis, el Hotel Narbabel, el Tetelo Amul, el Mongaru Bagania Males, el Belao, and Malmet Mora, a former President Ramasau. In fact, sel short video lo listening tel Cameldil Sils, Manreas Casing President, Mabanderang Arbelal Mal Tilob. Ese era bon en cada nevada only with the blue el mo abu emle don corcel gota yelgin ala gota madan nerul dart el blue ndiga dum la swal wa seguida arise maktubet sel del wil gida mablura shaban matamlo ti seguida randin mergir gada nerul dart el blue gida amla only with el mo abu mara tel madala garuba Dirigal el Resus, no sé del nombre cada mesa Prime Minister, ma dirigal Foreign Minister, ma bina gal Prime Minister Abe. Dirigalo tia sel clol amul ma kingeterengan kita olo tin mortir. Kita mengelo se Blura Shabal kita mal togobetsa del Willergid. Mon sel longin se onge del urior no sé del mundo el momento emperor tiamo ngale un road time el bodo esa emperor palas دريغ الموت يختول ترين الموت النسيج سال بالويلر جيت قال الامبرور عمل مدغلي بيلاو مدغلي سال نسيج بالويلر جيت هذا اللي تروني ترين سال بونيا تمام تمام اولدينغرا ابلور بيلاو كده من مول من نيا سا ابلورا شابالا سيسيل ساليت يجيرا del اقتوس الارجيدا يجيرا del مالولوري امسا اول غدا نيجيرا del ابلورا امريكا سيجي de longe de lurior دي كده اسين على غدا سا امبرور كده ورايا المطار رسول مغدا no sé del esa امبرور مثل قبسيني hay تاسيل سيم no sé del سوبر مرا واشنطن دي سي مثل هذا برا واشنطن دي سي لما ميز سير هوتل السلسلة اي الميتنج دي Minister State Riedra Gustavo Aitaro amno serom teried ngara igel meeting na hotel sils misera da borong erul sils mlane awar kaldel gora maklol meeting el dablani agoteng sel meeting ni la mangela Chamber of Commerce la blura mrigel el tira u commerce wa singara igel u treta range soma u shobal se la muktuba blur bela كده وكنا تلا الموضوع سل نيام لادانية ده سن connectivity من تملا أدرا سكوجي مر أدرا communication أمرا شيء ده البانل يا ترى أمرا سل بانل لا سل ده موضوع سن سكايلينك أو تلا روريا إيلان ماسك ستارلينك تملا قتيس الروليل واسل مريض لو بنا بلور بلاو بول تعمل باي موسوكمي رايقال سكولي رايقال رويد البلو الموسو الغانية انترنت من تدريغ الأخرى أدرى فيدكس فداسي بولسو الامبريلا حبر غميرو بيلاو كذا يريد نومي سيجي روغول وقتريتا الدول ملاسم المليسي أي الوكنية سيرايل الوكولنا سيرجيدرا تغورا أغرول كذا المقطع كرتيرو سياب الوضع بلور بيلاو دي يمل سيغان أريد رايجر روغول مكتول ماتسرا أبلورا إيجيا دينغلوي ميمل سيغان أريد رابلورا واشنطن دي سي سلبيبرا تايم تبلو لو بسرجيدا دي ميلان غلاقلا دي كده نيت ترى سيغابم جرد رابلو يبقى مارتيا مومر غربدولا إيجيا من كذا كذا غورا ملاك تلواسه هيجيد الوقت لدى المقاضيين ما يجيد الشباب رابلور أمريكا ما يجلوك agency رابلور أمريكا for example رابلور سل DFC سل Development Finance Corporation وسلوك كوجيسا بأسر الداسون الجيرة لا وقت على أوريور الممليسير أجيزا رابلور ولا كذا نمرق سيد الميتين يملانيا توقبت الميتين البلال السكيدجوليا Secretary Blinken manggil deputy ni ra Curtin Brink madiri kalangel Ambassador Joe Yun lamunde kama mal tedel president raigal blura FAS aigal Freely Associated States mang sel meeting am leklo to trail meeting ale kida am dangira sel al time kida adadura atogora agampakta ya atara albangale Ablur Amrigel Ablo Oil di Wallo Robert Gid malu ngasir ma de udam de atseda magara de atseda magara musera wala awigem laria ukte lira adara ambassador Gid millu sen mora adara Amrigel lo hace dagatak lo hacen song saudo mo laria babirien mo laria ongum gomesera declaration laria amsisi tol tilur adsel lo hace Blue Rambrigel, la musica, bebera teal, Tora Rambrigel, los periña, new resources, el mosugi da other bela. Di sel meeting el gidra mungena secretary Blinken mitskira teal mugada, wada tibul mokoma gai. Luk tigi del afa other FAS amsada yel ni al banglet, yel ngal sen sen ma yel wala challenge gid. gadun mura atokora agay zargi ma nasa dara atokora agay zay ma belset da min sadra se ngaray gel sedr makan brul spisi agay zargi mgrada dolu tertial niya abriu sera aradar belal tira osiga te alel mera ablur amriel mgrado tolasum lisia te alel ablur belal mgrado mosera ngalgeder tira amna soldar ablur amriel el hacer el top del berbela me habla si me el benefits que giril si berbela mutamayel el te alel di wala ngara ablur amriel betoga ay el lego magal dosao dandi se gota lo lat kenia se bol blatak lo hace kida ay el on tider mora ablur amriel adegal poradi do rose rak mungere do hace te kida ay ngari ungil el lur de sued mayo el darse lego mayo nito hace bom ungilo mes eda daga lo mes lo hace ngas irulil kusungwa mar adar ablur belal edire kan osur ablur amriel mang noria lui me email sigang al no se del el mungadadul uk sedim le statement ablur belal mor adar amriel ukna tela la president FSM ma lui me email bon de lui me email sigang no mungadadul president FSM president Marshall we were saying nori sel da sing summit ramangela president Biden mandiri kalngi ma secretary Blinken हमने कंडक्टर से मीटिंग मुझे आगे दरा material ट्री material मुंतखला लेgal बलूर आता है यो से मीटिंग हमने आते ले दिरेगल वादा उक्तो आइसरा अरबेक लादर गदुक नाम लूदर होई राइगल उक मिया बल दाकिद मान अदर अमरिगल गुतमो होटल लूरेरा दरा कोविड आइगल उक ngar ले दरा अतोरा अपने oceans मिसल सक्सेस अतोरा oceans ادري غلوك موس ما ضيل نيا اول البنغلاف ما يلوك سيدا مغل مرول بروتكترا قلدو غوريت سما ميموق قبل بنترا السيلا بلورا تايهيو of course امريكا لا سيل البنغلاف لا تقول security ميدا سيدا مرول لا تقول security دو بنتري dikada murtira sen rakam obes wa sen diri ngari ngara liu no ser kamamal milisi ablumam el mosa amal digmam dili akhlamam le wilte al tilur sera ngara news ra uka adrosera se kadogoro luren no se adbor amrigen ande kadir bolo siasi ngi dar mloko umra lo se te ledra gal meeting amra ablu amrigen amla wilte al el sedan mra wil adadu غاسوسه اوري ورسيم نو ياتله دنغاريا او قبل توغبت سبدي بلور لمنجلا بريزيدنت بايدن ما سكرتاري بلينكن تريجل ادلا ناشونال سيكوريتي كونسل ريلا جل مدريل جيك سالفان ما ديرغل كيرك كامبل تريغان لهوسترا عمل تري تيرول ليدرز हमने तेलिल मूतल लोगेर आगेर आधा दूर उका राते में लाभ लूँगा ना तेरे हमने तेरा लोग वाइट हाउस रमगेला गारुबा मन ने उंगला मीटिंग रखी तरह मुझे लंगा माल बाय मालो ऐसा स्टोरी नहीं रही आर मा उकते तेले ला au गुरुले लमा उका क्लारिंग इम क्लाउ तो तेरे लेgal मीटिंग लेगा तमली से आइगल दलुइल दिसेल दिंगिलूर सेल मीटिंग हम लोग लगता क्लासे प्रेसिडेंट बाइडेन amal soal o ngumay gal kampak terida au era abol mereka era alrak imla kaigets wal blal nun motribel ngarbab priority mang sel bulgul se ase mang ase motribel mi mokla kongres ra blur ambrigen seluk trigger tira adra udo dun mutum mesegel ngara idi be hopefully ta tongosugit mun se dem red kaigets ra kampak tra era a December Auri urse kita temal diri tal sande nada toba agi mlera blura Singapore letel blura Singapore sel vectel الوايا October 1st October 7 October 2nd sel sande هو الفاينل سل داسين Grand Prix race سر adme perseguido en octubre 2 no sé del morse el race el tiawal sponsoring tial government trablura Singapore la bangela private sector tiang la bangela ngel rubagal ngi ado dongli lo seng om beng seng nge mrus el hotel ra ngar al ngai da modo seng Four Seasons mle sola de me mon bolse del mestre ada gabalmente tiang mukto sa yelo clorura blura Singapore da sembra octolisira dal wildergit man kadamara el mrenga sulera invitation من government ra Singapore sel Grand Prix amnani atele del mitra prime minister ra tialbulu material betul ministeri to bet single ministeri ra transportation and diri walong ora artiagi del da seng Grand Prix tenga sel sera yang edel dart tela lada amne mesri ding marclo lu curiosa tora tourism entonces tiak me del rule sandera era el bonito el Grand Prix to schedule a meeting makan friends ra igal bekal bedengana ablura da amruna meeting tiang maigal hotel tial blu amo edela isoisa ala rumbringi ek me del gol meltela turist aguiler del me sertial el race dim sadri to saying to host the racing arala dart ogal million di tamla geisang ari ser lungu al muter torsela dart ogal million awula tamal mon murui bemal di private sector orustri man example ra awil el partnership from the government ma private sector di sales no sé del direct al Ministerio de Education ma y el Ministerio de Manpower mal le creo tutela la Ministerio de Cultura o pleso al momento se ngarato burul girera tora wa foreign labor ma magran no ser adra uror tial bulum direct no sé del Ministerio de Youth ma direct al tora wa crypto tial bura Singapore tara el blul wal blel gora tribal البطوغة يدا سين تغورا كريبتوري دي تدريغ مال الابتغر ريجوليشن سين تسوري بروتكتر ادرا بلوري دي تمدين ستة جيرد روس بيرني من نران تدريغ صادم سو برتيرا سين على يجل سيدا مرون وكون سوري ابلا وكا بلور برار الالي جدا وكا ومسا يجد تألا رغرون سيل كوترو او ريور سي املو سبيد look mosaing sel no hacen air services agreement sel niamo gongema adronle la blur bela ma blur Singapore mo se el was hogi dirigan sel berbela ngala khrbela mora tarablu magada me sem toga ya skogira ngara blur Singapore wa Singapore Airlines silk air scoot ma arwa jetstar dorong se bebira ye me marwe archumu khania agombali ngar bela o malum gombali chuan lo muktubra elani ege da moselu ulen nguk mapia a veces tela las hogira do la blura Singapore berbela me dia wal sigan a drongla da igar teblol blu do ega skogi e clote ala turist ngara Europe marwa India lo ega a blura a Singapore mera blur bela um do gidre al tamal el blada ala khragobi agiret rosiga ayer rogul teal el dogi ungil ruk mungamdale osigra okkiga igal bebi rablul likhra blul adal meimu udulur Australia el gadoreur a Singapore a shabala adoreur ni el alsil se gadok se bon murabla Taiwan el gadame hacen tria blul Taiwan mal dirgal siempre mungira del adadur el ara se melam open mgra ese el mutel lo mula a togora turista man clautule trel tegal salit clautule la adolescente era geizargi man kadamora ayer puro bablo siga yida rogul teal diregal teal Grand Prix the government of Singapore ma invite arcelir me umlo se del serado dura prime minister Singapore en diregal mlarselo bangela selo sijibtebla a president Rahul Ping Marcos Junior mumne teledruk ngadaduri direct maringel Sultan ra Malaysia ma Prince ra Brunei ma direct el Prince ra Amina President ra Rwanda mang aga uk mskida egal teal uk seda di ada du uk milisi egal del willa mang egal del blue wase uk ya teal le gadu gorok la besel teal ra garul ma uk teal ra urior ma lo mangela egal del blue nia ma beder yid ngari aseder supertir mang maral di moti tol الأمور الموجودة هذا البلاد Independence Day lo دخل سبعة ngara blur belalo mongomil celebrate the Independence Day عندي عمر الوسائل ministers مع بكرة هذا البلا ملو سوي لوت مكلام البرنامج مقوم سيل enjoy كذا من مول مل المغلوريور الجيرة بالواد من هذه ناس سوق الدولية أقنين واسه مدمران بين أسولا هذا البلا غلولا نوسيل قصر بادجت بيل النوسيل اللي قلت مكليسل هي 75 cents الوال ناس أكلها لو دودير هذا لو رأى قبلمنت ما ستيت قبلمنت دي سيلوك نو دريق مرال أم سوبري يعني عمرال واسنغرا سنتر لنا التايم أسل 11-9 كدو نيترا أولبيا غرولا especially سنتر واسقمنا سين نرى يلا أم سوب وطن سوريرا لو جرم أجي مال تي سوغلو أيسرا سنت ما أدر بيلال واسي executive branch عمل كتموك المساعدة ديسكاش عين يدير أمسوب ما أسورين مرول جيرال تيال لولداسون مولا ديسل دولين تنيا وسي السومر هذا نرى قبل من ما ستيت government تمنا مملسوال وسي نسون سا أنيسون مورتير ملاقل ناس أودودير متار بسول نها جيرال وسيسيل لولداس وهذا غربال مرة private sector من جيرال تيال دول سلوران مربابن بيقل بلا سامتيا أموسبيد المليجو المرباب مقدو دولين ترادر البيل وسي بول كمالهم سوب غاري جل بابيرا Ministry of Finance الجديد لو توب الملوغر سيل وسين نسأكل العرالا دم أوكلا مال بتوقع يجل statistics النارا سيل ويب سايت رابلور بلال سيل أوبيس الجديد را planning and statistics all told ما مالوني تلو سين ومرانو سيسلو بيسا مال كرتموكل الريدين موم وكشيرا جيدا الديرام جيدا كرتموكل العددو لغمرانو ستيا ترى يرتقول إلى الأكتوبر سيشن جيرد لو ديك الجيرد الأدر بلا التير أورا private sector also deserve a wage increase من كذا دي مقبول يجي جدا continue لوريور دي مو مقتغر جدا كدو سيغا تقال لما الأدر بلاو أسيب كير بلاو مقرادة أكلير إمرال ممال سوار سيل بلاوان دريم من دقدا مسانغ لو سيغرا أنيرا ترابلو ومان بسولان بايك أوبن راولا لسادوية نسيغ أرتدام برنادت مغمير رغول أدرا ميديا بايبوت سيلو جراجير سولان.
Okay, so just by order of how I'm seeing you on the screen, Mr. Sado, you so want to start the kick off our question and answer.
Moratura Miguel nace insufficiente ser economic assistance dado por Nina Bluga. Pero the white percent rai que gira dado por Nina Bluga la mala de la volante. Con la Miguel la opera Miguel Medellao la acceptable.
كده أدريجا البانر تيال negotiation من داخل سيد المراقمة غاي ما أقول تقول دوس بيعسى أيجيب لا مدار سادريجا سونس قدم لو بلغتك واسى أيجيب الدار سرا تيام لومريغا سرا تيملا ترامب أملين سونس متملا تريجي بلو نسيك Hindi kita man murto sa malal bla modar sen mel bebir mandri kang songs. Madru tirada du emnu trisbiga bebira angar haichulo tob le albangalel belau ma albangalel ayal bebira ablua o sisiu kama ma mamdengi gelu spela adra ablu mam dengi gel ngal sangasam magionito ase bol borrogol osungi ul mesa ay gelngia albangalam edakal kut mikla ungil الدلويل الموير غمية موير كده أقدر بينهم.
Hola, Mr. Presidente, Narichel, sobre el militar Abluram Miguel, Sandera Tampa. Under the status of force agreement, the military Ram Miguel had existed. El diablo.
Déjalo ahora.
El filo se Abdul Belama, Kalula Public English. Nadia, ahora yo quiero decir, va a ser ese manuscrito de la Abdul.
Comenzado, your question.
Dida مرقرا status of forces agreement تقمدغليش agreement امرال ويسيا دور تيرا خرقان باق تقدر امرال جينيل واسي exempt الواتاق exempt بتقول توي من ترى يجيم له discussion يجي درام جيرا بلينجن لو اسي جيرا من الموت المهم سرتيلا تلا دغل ويل تل تلاتين المرا بلوما دغل تابسول من sulang ragere mengare le points el bledemegel mortilo asa yagi da gira del mute moda dur gira di wai gal tirgan al geda tira amora mo solda me almen de gasin maigel benefit tirgan arbela yagi da gira el swadre gira del ada dur gira.
Sula, Mr. President, ayuda last question in the round la wave radio.
Oh.
El level das 25 la TPL será September 22. El move além the registration officers semana under accord. Seriously. Ya under seguida lá em Guerrela. Bimlaga udo del por de Guerrela. Que ayuda el move el RO el mora. Under a seriously. El Guerrela bimlaga el move again functions el RO. El timing under a lending survey. Logan Gale Mora Gorta, Mora Chudishui. Naragoro the Shui Gireche. Then they are funding a kilo of the Gireche give and move. Lobatia responsibility Mora Gorta.
Although the ngari le although the real time although the stile tangare ngala ministerial MPII من ayer udo do ngase yegi da gira del mamluk kal mora a judiciary ma a payroll man unfortunately tialla tilo dara aurura blabol mereka budget man dega question asenge del suma clear morgo erula amendment morgo mu bagel udo do aseng more ngala judiciary in the meantime arada man udo del ngara ngel tial current system sel budget already ngari triga tialena tiadi yora segada mawasara tel amender serla emurgo mubara budget temora vital blai mang kadamra sura drol film le pasralla elang kadang implementation kada urel sumotli di rada de abon mereka urel ta continue urel gida amasamo korim ngaria session relal October session mga hopefully ang relal time sila drol biduk sumakli malawil al may sila minimum wage militan marami.
Sulang Sadoy, Ms. Bernadette.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning,
Good morning.
from Manila.
You're in Manila.
Yes, sir. You talk about the air service agreement with Singapore. You know, in the past, the government assigns air service agreements with many governments, and did it actually result into new routes? I mean, what do you think are the conditions market or the market condition in Palau that will make Singapore Airlines and these other airlines open a new route from Palau?
Well, when you sign the air services agreement, the idea is that it will now give the private sector a green light to say, go ahead and fly. And the air services agreement that we signed give them open sky so they can actually fly to Palau and go beyond. So we're hoping that there's Singapore carriers, there's Singapore Airlines, there's Silk Air, there's Scoot, there's even an Australian carrier called Jetstar, that those airlines, because of their extensive networks, might look at Palau as an opportunity to hopefully increase their business, but at the same time provide tourists to Palau. There's also other people that want to start an airline. They want to fly between Palau and Singapore. They're talking about possible charter as soon as December, but they're working on it. Singapore is the gateway really for us to Europe, if they can open up, and also India. There's a lot of tourism that's coming out of India, so we want to tap into those new markets. And also Singapore as a country has 6 million people. And so there's a huge potential here for Singaporeans to also visit Palau. They're very active. So many of them are divers. And I've talked to many of them while at visiting the F1 race. And when they say I'm from Palau and we talk about Palau, many of them have come to Palau more than once and are excited that if they could have direct flights. They like Manila, it's a nice place, but they don't like to have to lay over there on the way to Palau. They want to be able to just go straight to save time. They want to go straight to Palau, dive, come back to Singapore, and not have to spend each day traveling. I think for efficiency and for, Singapore is a very prosperous nation, and people here have done well. And so with their high standard of living, having new exotic destinations, a direct flight access really provides opportunities to grow the market. So, yeah, we're hopeful.
Okay. My second question. So during the U.S. and Pacific Island Summit, and I'm sure that much talk about is China's influence in the region. So from Palau, what have you put on the table when it comes to the Indo-Pacific partnership and how to counter the China influence?
I reminded the United States when I was there and at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and continue to remind them that Palau is 5 hours by flight from every major city in Asia, but 25 hours from Washington, D.C. And because we're 25 hours from Washington, D.C., I think sometimes we're forgotten because they just fly over the Pacific and they end up in Asia. So part of what's needed, the U.S. is already, we're doing our part in helping out in the security of the region by them having exercises, putting in military facilities in Palau. But we need more than that. And when I say more than that, we need economic development. So, we need to encourage U.S. investment to the Pacific, and especially to Palau. Building on that 5 hours from every major city in Asia, why not make Palau a center for U.S. businesses doing business in Asia? We don't have to be like Singapore, but we can be a mini Singapore. So I think what the United States and us can partner and do is building on that relationship. Because we have the special compact with the United States, I think it provides security to U.S. businesses wanting to do business in the region. Because of that special relationship, they should consider having headquarters in Palau. They have many headquarters in Hong Kong. They're moving them to Singapore. It's crowded in Singapore. Look at Palau as another option. Look at the rest of the Pacific as another option. So that's really what Palau is putting forward. It's about building a strong partnership, and it's from the security standpoint, but also from the economic standpoint, and that's building economic resilience. I think that's what's needed in all the countries in the Pacific. And also, we thank the United States for their stance on climate change and finally coming back to the Paris Agreement and really taking a lead and highlighted the importance of, partnering on oceans. And really, that is our biggest threat is climate change, and that we need the U.S. to be a strong partner in helping us in that way. So,
Thank you, Mr. President.
yeah.
Thank you, Bernadette. Leilani?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President. I have just a few questions. One, it's been a long trip you've had. When are you expected to be home? And the second question, because we have the Minister of Finance here as well, regarding the minimum wage and the plan to, which of course they've killed in the Senate, but the plan to revive that. Right now we're trying to, the businesses are actually struggling, and the question with the bringing in the airlines. Right now, the round trip ticket, for example, to Manila is about $1,800, and that's the cheapest you can get. In these discussions that you had with Singapore, have there been any other discussions with, say, United to try to, work on that? Because we're not going to see a lot of tourists if the rates of the airlines continue at this level. I know there are other factors, but we're trying to, bring more visitors home. What is happening on that field?
Yeah, so one of the problems that United has is, of course, they claim we don't have enough customers, so that's why the price is high. So their major market, United's major market is Japan. So hopefully that's going to open up, and as bookings increase, the prices should come down for the Japanese market. I think the same thing will happen with Manila as they add on another flight. They're adding a second flight as traffic builds up toward the end of the year. That should also help on rates. Airlines and most of the transportation industry these days has a shortage of pilots and crew, so they've been able to charge a lot. And one of the advantages that Fiji or Tahiti have is they have their own airlines. So they dropped the rates and they brought tourists in. And that's why really we're trying to find new partners. That's why we're talking to Australia about flights from Australia. That's why we're talking to Singapore, because we've got to find other alternatives to bringing passengers here. And hopefully our meetings in Taiwan, we need to get China Airlines going again. If you know the way airlines work, when China Airlines was flying before regular service, not just charters, which they are doing now, it was $1,200 round trip from the West Coast, LA to Palau. So when they do that, then United has to match that rate. When Asiana was flying, it's the same way. So really what helps United in their pricing is competition. And competition can come through different ways. So when you have direct flights, for example, from Singapore, United may drop their flights from Manila because then they'll be losing customers that could fly through Manila on United. So really the name of the game is competition, and we need more competition. And when United currently is the only carrier that's providing regular service to Palau, that's the price we get. And we appreciate the service, but we also understand that it is a free market, and we don't tell them what they should charge. They'll tell you all kinds of excuses, but I think the only way to really combat that is competition. And we also need to talk to our friends in the Philippines. There's Cebu Pacific, there's Philippine Airlines. We continue to try to ask them to come. But also if that flight from Australia begins, we want to also see if that flight can continue from Palau onto the Philippines. So we've got to find every way we can to increase air service into Palau and provide better service and better pricing. So, and the best way to do that is competition. So hopefully in the next few months, we can see some changes. And it's tough. It's tough in the airline business, but we have to keep trying. Oh, and what was the other question? Minimum wage?
Just a quick follow-up. Also, your next, you're leaving, I believe, to the state visit in Taiwan. What
Yes.
is there anything specific that you want to, accomplish while you're there during this state visit?
Yeah, there's a number of roundtables. There's an economic roundtable. There's one on fisheries and agriculture. There's another one on blue carbon. So these are all different initiatives that we're working with the government of Taiwan to develop. And then there's one specifically on tourism and transportation. So we've got to figure out how we can really get that going. So it's an opportunity for us to engage with our partner and build on the strong relationship that we have. We're hoping that they'll soon put COVID behind them, like the rest of the world have said COVID is over. But we're looking forward to that. I think they've announced that on October 13th, they'll reduce to the 7-day self-monitoring. That's a big step in the right direction, but we're looking forward to when no PCR test and everything has gone away, like the rest of the world. It's amazing to be in Singapore and there's no hotel rooms and everything is booked. There's hope. Everybody is moving, except in our region, we're still slowly getting out of it. And Taiwan is an important partner in getting us tourists and getting their flights going. And we hope that, having these meetings and these economic roundtables will help push that in the right direction. We're, of course, there to attend the Yoshun conference and also 10/10 celebrations. I won't be returning to Palau until October 19th, I think is the current schedule. Ali?
Mr. President, ang sabi mo ko ati masadre kal tuwa relal tiyak.
Oh, I say nani kam ask toram regel mo dam toram regel. Sula. Selgotem leger am legre la tora airline kada me hace United Airlines mal mrila la ticket in mora Manila kada umra lo hace adital grul se agidro siga a bebira te al uxpogin mera blur belal el ngara bebira blue madre el ngara huri ping and mail el create el competition من tribal lo morise lu corendil tiblo ngara taigal ara lascogi el nero hace ngara mo nga Aula Skoyin ngara blue ramrigel merebela dim le yasui yin maria China Airlines ngara direct flight ring loyo ya Taipei merebela ese laral seguir Skoyam le tal telal merul dar ngara tam chedel mala atiget la ngara United ngara ramrigel merebela dim le ngara osishil ar diregal al China Airlines ultagra okya gara shabal merebela atiget ra المرابلة shabal diregal man bring aran Diregal huri pig en el altam si del lugarin man la masara la tigetri gira lo sikra se ngara bebira skogil el service ti al routing diga ngodo role gira more competition en la el tribal el merio igal lole diregal serara mo to rokya gara adra United a senya maran merio ole ngora igal tablo to dos pe gira mo to rokya gira more competition en ya hacer la el prigidra gira lo la skogi Gidamo Rablura Taiwan, Relal Sils, Rablura Singapore Mon, Celebon area el Economic Round Table, el Gidamo Dong, creado du Gid Marada Taiwan Girel, Taria Girel Tora Tourism and Transportation, Mau Tira Tora Finance, Tira Tora Blue Carbon, Tira Direct Round Table Girela Tora Sales and Omier. Aiga Roa dagal matmoklo من تريل الميليشيا سير دلوي كده وسي قال تعال كده سيد الميليشيا يقدر يروح على سنه بالواد ديريغن المورسيم قد موريات لدروك سيلبريترا 10 لبنترير وسيسل توبت سلسير سرتير دريغ المعتندر أي مرة conference الجيرلا revitalizing recovering kada misal saya lal blabo di kria govide magara dolisi era que izargi magara desisi abelwad الجيل الكلا يقال مران مين التايم تيري غنيل نلاقي غولغاني دايلاني الجيل لا تورا مينيموم ويج اغورين سراسه ملارا سيناتر ويرولو ميولا تملدي فرغي غورا جيل غما تومسو بودولين تراسه بولتي بالغدام امسو بول بلغتاكلا او السبيلا بالوادم بلغتاكلا او السبيلا ادرابلو جيدا دغاسيد البلان الجيرين الي جيدا باي بلان الجيرين لاكلوغو ودولين تراسه ملامو تايم المسات التورا مينيموم ويج اوكتوماس المال مرير رابك الاب اللوريور رابك السيلز المطموك لادران كلير الوايسيا عودو دي من السوم مال مرير اكتوبر 1 لما الاخرين ابو جانوري 1 نيدي مرلي من كذا كونتينيو الكلمه كلورو ترادرو البيل كيرد شيء سولا
Okay, Sulang, Rambas, Hapon.
Tutay President, ikaw ma-reklado rin ako. President, kumesa na Minister of Finance hindi ka natya. A news report out of Guam, apparently, Minister Udoya nara hotel Dusitani na Guam nari presentation na ni. And he talked about Palau, libro wala sismer. Blue Bella mo start a stable coin maybe this October, this month. Ma-question nga ka in three parts regarding stable coin. Ako a stable coin na blue oil taken to an external reference. Let's say commodity or a fiat currency mang akari ka kasi. So tiya gidal palu bang algorithm. So Palau ngaral asset class sa local pekertial stable coin. Number two, awase ngaral currency exchange mo handle tial stable coin. Let's say for example, sa bali ngal berbelaw, baru mangidil el move audio for example, baru ngara cryptocurrency ngara Bitcoin, Ethereum, el move el morte stable coin. Emergoy sa bali el cash out to bank baru. So I get a question regarding this pilot project.
Gambes vera po kung geragaw dik maktaseng adi tribak man masuma 9 o'clock at Blue, which is in 10 minutes. Yak momit rin Minister Sustainability ma environment tel Blue. Mang akmo excuse myself kundi malungil question amara Caleb. Mengerti lang mong masel longer hindi ka maldin mo tersuha sa kanung terte ale mga suliw algira la ukate ale del ada tu logi amli diu le te akora malu la urere gambesa musel gadmo blo los peni di malu la question raw uguni tra minister mo bol musugi del answer sula.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Kambes, for the question. The judicial conference, or actually 3 different conferences that were held in Saipan and in Guam 2 weeks ago. I was fortunate to represent the president to go over there and talk to them about our fintech initiatives. The one that you're referring to is regarding this stable coin. Our plan is to launch this month. That was our target date, and we're working on having the launch. There are a few things that need to be arranged prior to that happening. But your first question in particular is regarding backing for the stablecoin.
Right.
So the stablecoin, by its own description, is meant to be stable. meaning it's not meant to have variable values, right? So our stable coin, I would say, would be one of the most stable because it's a one-to-one backing with the US dollar. So it's not intended for investment, it's intended for transactions. So you can think of it that way. It's not something that you want to put into your portfolio per se, if you're investing in Luna or Bitcoin or other types of crypto assets. So I want to explain that that's the purpose of the stablecoin, is to facilitate transactions. The second point is the way I understood your question: how do you onboard or offboard? How do you get from a dollar to a stablecoin and from stablecoin back to cash? That will be a process that we will manage. The government will manage, and it involves the banking system. And because it involves the banking system, it provides us with those protections for people who use the coin, who either pay with coin or receive coin. And that's done through a bank account, meaning that the bank will have verified the identity of the person and the source of the funding. So did I answer your question completely?
Yeah. So Sir Sir Kawen, it's more like a digital currency. In my mind, it's also a cryptocurrency, Binance exchange, Coinbase. So that's what I was trying to ask. Yeah. So how is that going to work? Are we going to involve, for example, like cryptocurrency in dealing with this Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, stable coin? Through banks?
That's a possible use of the stable coin, what you refer to as trading on a crypto exchange. If you want to call the stable coin by its correct purpose, it's a central bank digital coin. So we're just tokenizing a dollar, making it digital, and using that for transactions. Because we don't have a central bank, we cannot doing a central bank coin, so we refer to it as a coin.
Sulang and can I ask Luasing, maybe we can set up some time with you and the minister to sit down and get more questions regarding that answered, and then maybe just give the president this last few minutes to say goodbye to everybody and school to Palau.
Okay.
Well, ومن سولان like I said before, وقت لدر ساد هذا ضوء لو يو مليديول يو سكول مرابك لادر بلاو موك نكسل هذا ضوء لو يو مليديول ما ده قرب بلاو ومن سولان.
Sula, Mr. President.
Thank
you.
And we wish you the best next more time to meet with others. And then I think there's a request to continue the press conference. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll say goodbye to the president. We'll continue with, I believe it's just going to be Minister Hui. And then we actually have another meeting, so we'll have to wrap up in about 15 minutes. Is that enough time, Leilani? Yes? Okay, Sulang. Mr. President, Sulang, for your time this morning.
Sulang.
And God bless your day.
Right. God bless you.
So okay, can I continue with my line of question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Cambes, let me
sure.
also explain. We were invited to speak about Palau's fintech initiatives at the Judiciary Conference. There are many judges and lawyers. It was the travel was paid for by the conference, so no expense to Palau. And the topics were related to regulations and consumer protection, There were several experts there from judiciary and from the legal profession that we participated with in the discussions regarding crypto and CBDCs and other digital assets. So it was a very informative conference sponsored by the Judicial Conference, Pacific Judicial Conference. So it was a very good conference. We are preparing public information, marketing information that we will be providing to the media and to the public directly regarding. But just to clarify, the initial launch is a pilot basis. We need to prove the concept and find the processes that are working well or not working well, make the necessary corrections before we roll this out to the larger public. And we are working very closely with the regulators. So the different parties involved understand the risks that are involved, understand what we're trying to do, and we make sure that when we do conduct these type of activities, that it's in a safe way for the public's safety.
Okay, so this type of activities, this stablecoin or digital currency, is there like a market for it? Like, is the world? I mean, if I mean, can you book a hotel or an airline with it, or is it just like for money transfers and that's it?
No, you're correct. It is for transactions mainly, and there are many different what we call cases or ways to use the stable coin that we're considering, and those will be rolled out as we prove the system, because we will be basically allowing people to use the stable coin in lieu of cash, and you have the systems like with the retailers for the people to use the coin to pay for goods. We need to set up people's wallets on their phone so they know how to use the coin when they're trying to do something. There's opportunity for people to use the coin between themselves, what we call a peer-to-peer. If you wanted to lend money to your brother, you can transfer some stable coin to him, for instance. So there are many use cases that we're considering. Our experts all tell us that this is a very viable project and product, and we think that it's a very good product for Palau to make it easier to transact, cheaper to transact, quicker to transact for, in the future, let's say, paying your taxes in Pelilu, or sending money to somebody in Pelilu, or not needing cash, not needing an ATM in Ngaralong to get cash to pay for groceries at one of the small mom and pop stores there. So we're looking at these uses for the future.
Okay, so Minister, and there are others with questions, so I'm gonna let them ask their question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bernadette.
Hello, Minister. Just to follow up on Campus, and you also mentioned about a banking system. It's quite complex with this stablecoin. Can you explain how banking system how the banking system will play into it? And are you talking about, of course, you're not talking about the traditional banking system.
No,
can you remind us again, why is Palau doing this?
Well, for the reasons that I was explaining to Kambes, that we need a better way to improve access to money and to include more people in the use of money to support our economy. That's the basic reason. But with Kambes's earlier question, this stablecoin will be backed by a US dollar. It's a tokenization of a dollar. So it's converted from a dollar to a digital coin on your phone, for instance, and then you use your phone to transact with other people. And when they want to convert it back to dollar, they have to go through the banking system. So the banking system is an integral part of it. That's how we get the dollars.
Okay, thank you, Bernadette. Leilani?
I post my question on the chat because I know time is limited. So Minister, can you take a look at that? Comment halakang botol ready mo Lucas. And asal mo sa that stable coin and whether those paying and dollar transactions. And at time sabi na those pera mobile payment umarang along mo market ang internet function na kawin sabi man and those paying harawa bisa ka. Jangan advantage ni kita ada bela makarakabelment kami ka ang lanyap ng
Thank you. To answer your first question, we don't make money on stablecoin, and it's what I was explaining to Kambes. This is not meant to be an investment. This is a way to support transactions, and that flows into your second question. The mobile payment system that you're referring to is not cheap, and it's not easy to use. So this is the alternative, and it'll be a lot more accessible and usable than the mobile payment system. For instance, Bank of Hawaii partner for mobile payment, Zelle. There's third-party mobile payment systems like Venmo or PayPal. A lot of these systems are not available to the average Palauans, and a lot of Palauans may not be able to have these mobile payments. So stablecoin is a different opportunity, and it's an opportunity you can get directly with your bank account. Something that people struggle with is going to the ATM and making sure that they can get cash out of it, because often the ATMs don't have sufficient cash. That's significant because the more the banks have to bring in cash, the more expense they have to make, and the more banking services become expensive to people. So the stablecoin addresses the speed and cost of using cash. Also, there's a security issue with money laundering. Cash is the most ideal. Using stablecoin is another way we can track activities for law enforcement purposes.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that a lot of these questions that you folks are asking are questions that we are asking as we work with our partners to iron out a lot of the technical issues that that we're still working on. Definitely, this is an endeavor that Palau wants to get into to ensure Luaseng, we're taking advantage of the technology, right? And being one of the first to step up and utilize technology to propel our economy and to protect our economy as much as we can. But yeah, again, those questions are questions that we are continuing to ask, and we're really trying to make sure before we even roll out the pilot program that those questions are answered, that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, so that we can ensure that, this is a program that that to Minister Ghalib's point, does meet its goal and its mission. And I think, Ms. Bernadette, you had another question, and I think then we'll do 2 more questions after that, and then we'll wrap up, yeah?
Yes. Just question, for example, I have a Bitcoin or other digital coin, and I want to cash it out. Where is the money going to be taken from to pay me?
I think
I
still,
know it's kind of technical.
I think we're a little early in the, hold on, Bernadette. I think that's a little early. We're still in the very beginning stages of this. So Minister, please, if you want to elaborate on that, but yeah, I think the questions of the hows are still some of the things that we're trying to figure out.
Yes, thank you, Oyal, for helping with that explanation. But I personally am not investing in crypto. if you do want to discuss the technical parts of this, which are beyond what we're discussing now with our project, you may want to cite who I know is in this area. Thank you, Cambas, for helping Bernadette.
Okay. Okay. I think is Columbus, is that a question that you wanted to ask, or
Yeah. It was in response to your statement that these are technical details that we need to sort it out before. So, but the reason that we are asking these questions is that the minister was in Guam talking about this, and these are the questions that naturally comes to our mind because we also want to educate ourselves in this endeavor.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I agree, Luasing. Like I said, I'm agreeing with you because the questions that you guys are asking are questions that we're trying to make sure are answered before we even roll anything out. So yes, Bernadette, to your point on the chat, when you talk about this being a complex issue, I think as the minister stated, there's a lot of technical issues that are still needing to be ironed out. And so we're going to make sure that happens before even just the pilot program, that even before that is touched. And yes, as the minister said, there's going to be information that's shared prior to that.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. So when can we have that information, Minister?
It's being developed now. We're lucky
Okay.
Oya part of that, and it will be provided to people with more detail once the details are finalized, because there are different ways that it can be done as well. We have a particular way that we want to do this, but it's some of the technical stuff, the average person would not need to worry about that. When you want to pay for something, you just take out your debit card and pay. You don't need to understand how all of that works in the back. But for those interested, we can also arrange those kind of meetings to have technical discussions if you're interested in that side of the business.
Okay, Sadoy, I saw that you unmuted yourself, sir.
I say, Oyal Msulanga, Olgogugera Ministel Gerel Tale, a PCS still Gerel Mo January 1st, and the bearing Langania technical issues that they're involved. This other only telling email, several update to get the digital agency program that Montela Ludo Dabla Losis, Betela Adam La Register in Ma, digital residency, implementation.
Okay, Sulang, we'll make a note of that, sir. And then Leilani, of course, thank you for your message. Yes, I think that would be a good idea, especially as we roll it out. Of course, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. But we'll get all of that information as soon as things are ironed out, so that we have the questions answered ourselves, so that we can answer yours. But we'll definitely make sure that happens. Yes. And yes, Miss Bernadette, we will try to make sure we do it when you are in Palau. Okay. All right, folks. So with that said, Sulang Masal for your time this morning. I know you guys are busy, so I really do appreciate the time that you guys set aside to meet with us and to really learn more about what the president and his administration is doing to help propel and promote Palau internationally, and then of course promote our economy. Okay. Sulang, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Oyal. Thank you for this. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
God bless you all.
Thank you, Bernadette.